Hello, welcome to Double Strike Recaps. Today I am gonna show you an action film from 2017. John Wick Chapter 2. Spoiler ahead. The scene begins with John Wick heads to a warehouse owned by Abram Tarasov to get his car back. Abram wants to take revenge for John killing his brother Vigo and nephew Losf. Scene continues with John is killing all of Abram's guard before he finally gets his car. As he drives away, a whole mess of Abram's goons start attacking his car, gets banged up and the henchmen slam into John with their cars, but the man is persistent and easily kills all the goons. Before making his way to Abram's office, John simply pours Abram and himself a drink. He chooses to spare Abram in a peace offering. Abram questions John as to whether or not he can actually find peace. John returns home, look for the unnamed dog he took at the end of the first movie. He calls out Aurelio to come pick up the car, which is a total wreck. Still Aurelio claims he can fix it. After he leaves, John reburies all of his weapons beneath cement as he feels he has done with the assassin life. He watches a video on his phone of himself and his late wife Helen. He just want to live in peace with the memories from his wife, but what happened was, they woke up that lion instead. That night John is visited by another assassin named Santino Dantonio. He presents John with a marker that John gave him, which is essentially a blood oath used to get out of the assassin life when he decided to be with Helen. Santino wants John to kill his sister Gianna, who is set to ascend to the High Table, a group of powerful assassins, but John refuses despite knowing full well what will happen if he doesn't. So Santino leaves John's house and then grabs an RPG launcher and destroys John's house. Thankfully the dog survives. John heads off to Rome to complete the task. He stays at the Continental Bear owned by Julius. John then meets with several people to get the weapons he needs to kill Gianna. John attends a party that is basically Gianna's coronation. She is accompanied by her loyal bodyguard Cassian. John confronts Gianna alone and he tells her that Santino sent him. She chooses to die on her own terms and slits her wrists. Gianna lays in the pool. As she dies, John holds her hand and puts a bullet in her head to make it look like he killed her. Cassian spots John as he is leaving. Knowing John is working again, Cassian shoots on John, but John is faster. He gets away and starts killing the other hitmen that go after him. When they find out Gianna is dead and John shoots them all dead. As he gets away, Cassian catches up to him and fights him up until they crash through a window of the Continental. Because the rules there is no blood may be spilled on Continental grounds, they stop the fights. Next scene, John and Cassian sit at the bar to calm their nerves with drinks. John explains the marker and that Santino sent him to kill his sister. Cassian understands but also cannot allow his ward's killer to go unpunished. He pays for John's drink and leaves. John then spots Aries, Santino's mute bodyguard. She lets him know through sign language that she'll be seeing him. As John is heading back to New York City, Santino puts out a $7 million contract to kill John because he scares of him. The contract goes out to all the hidden assassins. In the area, a violinist in the subway pulls out a gun from the violin and tries to kill John, but he subdues her and breaks her neck. A heavy-set Asian man goes after John and gets his brains blown out. Two men in the subway try to get in on it and John brutally kills them with a pencil. Cassian finds John as he gets on the subway and fights him in the train. John stabs Cassian and pushes the knife into his aorta. He tells Cassian that if he pulls the knife out he'll bleed to death. John leaves Cassian on the subway. John wanted, posing as a homeless man, and asks for help as two assassin janitors go after John. John runs into an assassin Homels and the assassin kills the janitors. John goes to seek sanctuary from the Bowery King, an assassin that once had a run-in with John and was left with a scar on his neck. John spared him, and so now the Bowery King sees himself as unbreakable. He also knows of the bounty of John's head. With BK's help, John is able to locate Santino's whereabouts. John heads to a museum where Santino is set to take his place at the High Table. John crashes the shindig and starts going after all of Santino's men. John chases Santino for a hall of mirrors before having to fight Ares. John manages to stab Ares and leave her die. Santino rushes to the Continental to seek refuge, he knowing that he can't be touched there. And John finds him in the lounge, have a tea and smirk to John. Winston then tries to calm him down but John blows Santino's brains out. The next day John goes with his dog to meet with Winston at the park. Winston informs John that because he killed on Continental grounds the High Table has doubled the contract and sent it to every assassin across the globe. Winston must mark John as excommunicator means he can't get any access about the association and the Continental from now on. But he gives him 1 hour before the contract takes effect. It then becomes evident that every single person in the park is an assassin and they have their eyes on John. He gives John a marker and say it will be needed onde. John tells Winston to let everyone know that if they go after him he will kill them all and Winston agrees. John leaves as Winston puts the word out and every passing person looks at John knowing who he is and want him. John is forced to take the dog and keep on running. The end and see you in John Wick 3. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.